Hello, everybody. Okay. I'm going to post a bunch of files that we will need for our class today. They are available on the Blackboard as well, but it's a little bit more instantaneous if it's here. Hello, Jeremiah. All right, that's good for now. And we'll have more. Okay. Tara, how are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Same old, same old. Vanessa, what about you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
That's nice to hear that some people are doing fine. Eileen?
I'm good.
All right, everybody's good. That's nice to hear.
Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Last week after group work, there was an assignment for us to post on the discussion board as a group. But I don't see what part we're supposed to post that in.
I think I wasn't very specific. It probably could have been just posted on the discussion as a thread. Well, we'll do it today, so we still have time.
Okay, thank you.
I think it was, yeah, I think if we go to Blackboard, then I can do that actually and check. See if that was created as a separate thread. Okay, I'm looking. Let's see. Oh, the internet is slow today. Okay. Any day now. I have to come back and make sure that it shows us something. Discussion. Okay, here it goes. Self-introduction. Yeah, so Jeremiah, if you go to discussions, there is assignment number 1, which is ideas. And for week 3, I'm actually gonna copy that and post it in the chat so you can see. And I see that a bunch of people actually did that. Here's the chat. Paste. All right, so Jeremiah, this is what's posted as a sublink in discussions.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. Okay, let's see. Victoria. Good. So I'm going to show you my little agenda for today. It's not so little, unfortunately. See how far we can get. Okay, so I'm showing you my agenda. If you don't see anything, say something. But if you see it, you don't need to do anything. So I assume everybody is okay. All right, good. So we have things, there are a couple of logistic items that I need to discuss with you. So out of people who are present right now, let me There is one person that is affected by this. Skylet. Can you hear me?
Yes, Professor, I can hear you.
Uh-huh. As you can see in my little,
Yeah, I see. I did email you about that. I don't know if you got that. I've emailed you twice.
no. So what you should do, Skylet, is I'm gonna just type it for you. Please send me that page, the one that has the score, right now, as we are in the logistics section.
Well, it wasn't the score. It was just about my problem with the
Oh,
site. Yeah, I
oh,
did
yes.
email you about that. Is there any way, like, is it still, am I still able to access it through Blackboard?
No, but you can still do the training. You know
Okay.
what? We'll have a little break in the middle. Let's discuss that. So for
Yeah.
now, I'm not gonna kick you out the way I was supposed to. But the problem is if you don't give me, the score is not a problem after all. You can drop one of the lowest scores. It's that if you don't get this training, then you cannot
Participate. Yes.
participate in class. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it's good. So like I just discussed it with Skylet, there are four more people for whom I don't have the city training score. And that's an issue for me. So the easy way to see whether you are one of those is to go to Blackboard and check my grades. And if you don't have a grade for the city, that means I don't have it. And if I don't have it, that's not good. So you need to, and I'll see if these four people show up. I'll ask them to send me uh, the actual page, the second page with the score. So the certificate is the first page. That's fine. But the score is on the second page, and that's what I need. All right, so I'll come back to that in a few. So my next point is your discussion activities. Now, I know you're busy, you have other classes, you have everything, but I will continue to try to push you to relate more to this class. The reason why it is important is because this is the foundational class for any other psychology class you are taking or will be taking. So, and because we're not live, I cannot whip you in shape physically. I have to whip you in shape digitally, that is remotely. So I need you to work. I need you to do a little bit more than just the the quizzes and stuff like that. I need you to try to be engaged with the material. There are a couple of people who are doing great. Not that I read everything. I don't post just because it's too much for me, but I would like to uh, make a note about Lisbeth and Seaver, whose stuff is really exciting. So you guys, what you could do is read their posts or somebody else's post and reply to it. And I will make an effort as of next week to post more actual activities for you. I hope that was my initial intention, that you can come up with activities yourselves, that is, things that you would like to discuss or present. And unfortunately, it's not happening because I'm looking at the sheet. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18, that's more than a half of the class, of which there's now 34 people that haven't posted anything in 2 weeks. Now, this is week 3. If you continue to, so those who did not post anything in 2 weeks lost already 8 possible points. And then you cannot recap them because you can only get 4 points a week. So when the time comes, and believe me, this time comes, people start sending me messages. Oh, can I do some extra credit work? This is your kind of extra credit work that will allow you to perhaps compensate for other things that you may not be able to do. So I need you to get engaged with the material. And what I mean by engaging is when you read a chapter, when we have a lecture, if you are present during lecture, or if you listen to it later on, is to catch on something that is of interest to you. So you can go online and look at the stuff and give us a little summary. So when I say little, I mean 200 words or more. So a bunch of you posted like two-liners. And what I wrote is in response is like, okay, for now, I will give you your credit, but you need to provide some substance in your writing, and you can't provide any substance in 2 sentences. It's just not possible. So I will continue to look at all of this. Your activities for week 3, which is what we are in now, will close on Monday. So you have plenty of time. I mean, you have 4 days to be creative. This is the chapter on hypotheses and how to deal with the different sources of information, why research is important. There are many ways that you could contribute to this. Okay, so I will grade. I think I have caught up with all the grading except for week 3 because it's still ongoing. So when I grade your week 3 contributions, you're not going to get anything if you are saying, nah, I like that. And that's what we talked about in the lecture. I know what we talked about in the lecture because I was the one. So give me something that would extend the lecture a little bit, or give me some reaction to this. There was one interesting post, I think it was from Victoria, who said she was just totally horrified about Tuskegee syphilis study. And then she went on to explain why it hit her so hard. So that is also possible. So you can respond on something, but it has to have some substance. Hopefully, I call it advance the discussion, something that will be of interest to all of us. So please don't continue. Those 18 of you who haven't posted anything, don't continue to do that, because then you have to have perfect scores for everything else to get your B, which means that if you're not perfect, your score without these 50 participant points is more likely to be like a C. But if that's what you want, that's fine with me. It's just engagement has to occur when we are outside of the class, because we just don't have enough time for all of that. Okay, if you have any suggestions, you can suggest to me what you would like to see. I left it basically for you guys to decide what you want to discuss. All right, the next and last logistic piece that I need to discuss with you, not to discuss with you, but present to you, is that now that more or less the number of students has settled, we have, like I said, 34 at this point. Obviously, 34 is not divisible by 3. So instead of having a 4-member group, which is a little difficult because it's kind of unmanageable, there will be 2 groups with 2 people. And so Irina and Skylad will be group number 11, and Romain and Norma will be group number 12. So let me ask, Skylad, did you get in touch with Irina?
I haven't gotten in touch with her yet. No.
Okay, well, you have to do it today. There's no way around that. Romain and Norma, did you guys? Oh, Irina is here. Irina, have you gotten in touch with Skylad? Okay, well, just to remind you guys that you are supposed to be present during the synchronous class, not just log in and then walk away. And that doesn't mean that you're present. Okay, and do we have Norma and Romain with us?
Hi, Professor.
Hi, Norma. Okay, good. So is Romain present as well? Don't see him. Did he email you, Norma?
Yes, he emailed me. I emailed him back. I'm just waiting for him to respond.
Oh, okay, good. So at least you have established a connection. So that's it. So now we have 2 additional smaller groups. Again, just to preview what may happen after assignment number 1. If there are people who would like to switch groups, we can do that. And then you will stay with the new group for the duration of the class because it's going to be assignment number 2, and there you can't really jump that much. So make sure that you have your group members' coordinates, cell phone numbers, emails, whatever you need to have to get in touch. And I obviously would like to have one person to be designated as a leader because that will make my life a little easier sometimes. Oh, there he is. Hey, okay, Norma, Romain is here, so you can privately chat with him to make sure that you have all the information you need. All right, any other logistical questions that you guys want to ask me before we move on to what we have to do today? Okay, so if you scroll up the chat, you will see 2 files that they also posted on the Blackboard, except our Blackboard is a little slow today. So what I need you to do is to download these 2 files so that you have access to them. And I'm just checking to see if these activities are open to you. Okay, I'm gonna open them up. Make available. All right, if you can get those 2 files from the chat, go to Blackboard to weekly schedule week 3, which is today, and go to in-class activities, and you will see these files there as well. So what we're gonna do now, let me go back to our next step. And the next step is, let me open it again. The next step is for the leader of the group. So what I would like you to do, just type in the chat your group number and the name of the person who the leader is. For now, you can always change that. It's just for today will be easy if we have one sort of person. So for group 1, we have Sever, Jasmine, and Rita. So you guys decide. Okay, for group 2, we have Sever. Okay, good. Jennifer, Jackie, and Tara. Is Jennifer present? Okay, what about Jackie? Okay, Tara, you're all by yourself. All right, so what we will have to do is perhaps get you join either group 11 or group 12 because I don't see other people from your group. Do you know anything about them, Tara?
No, I don't. I mean, I have them, like, I could text them and see.
Well, they're not in class, so, you know, would you like to at least work with somebody now, or do you want to work by yourself?
Yeah, it's okay. I could work by myself and start the
Okay.
group project.
Okay, all right, so then you officially is leader for group 2, Tara.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. So group 3, we have Jeremiah, Sadiru, and Stephanie. Jeremiah, excellent. Group 4, Irving, Devin, Joy, and Joanna. Who's going to be your leader? Irving, okay, good. Group 5 is Eileen, Milana, and Vanessa. Who's going to be the leader of your group, guys?
Professor, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
You want me to turn my mic on? I mean, my camera?
Yeah, that would be helpful because I can see who I'm talking with. There's Stephanie.
So, you know how for assignment 1, it says that you have one person send in the report? Is that the group leader that sends it in?
Yes, Usually it is. And the way assignment 1 is set up on Blackboard now, it's a group assignment. That is, you can't submit it 3 times. You can only submit it once.
Okay, and then we just have like all of our names and stuff on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
Okay, no
Good.
problem.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right. So Eileen, Milana, and Vanessa, group number 5. Who's your leader? That silence is interesting. Vanessa, I can see you, right? Eileen, are you with us as well? Okay, Eileen, perfect. Group number 6 is Lisbeth, Alma, and Chalani. Who's going to be the leader of group 6?
I'm going to be the group leader, Lisbeth.
Okay, Lisbeth, do you mind typing it into the chat so that I have a record of that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, number 7 is Kim, Jenny, and Monica. Who's going to be your leader, guys? Jenny, perfect. Group number 8 is Didi, Victoria, and Callista. Who's going to be the leader of that group? Callista. Oh, no, it's group number 8. Okay, good. Group number 9 is Thomas, Terrence, and Lewis. Lewis, okay. Group number 10 is Tyrell, Chidima, and Edgar. Who's going to be your leader? Okay, who do we have here? Do we have anybody from this group? Chidima, you're here, right? And Edgar is here, right?
Yeah,
So who's going to be your leader between the two? And Tyrell is here too.
Yeah, I'm here also.
Okay, good. So type into the chat, Tyrell, that you're going to be the leader. That's what I need. I need the record of. For now, again, you can change later. So
Okay.
group number 11 is going to be Irina and Skylet. Which of the two of you will take on the leadership for group 11?
Please, Skylet.
Okay, Skylet. So type in group number 11. And Romaine and Norma, you guys are group number 12. Who's going to be the leader for now?
I don't mind being the leader.
Okay, so Romaine, type in 12. Perfect. So you guys now will have to go, as I continue talking, you have to go to Google Drive and you have to create a Google Doc and invite 3 people to that Google Doc. 2 of your partners, or in case of groups 11 and 12, your partner and me. And the name of that Google Doc has to be the number of the group and then your 3 first names. So here's an example. I hope you can see that. This is an example for group number 8. And the reason why I want the number first, because I will see all these tabs open up and I need to be able to quickly see who you are. And then invite all of us as we're doing that. And I'll check my email in a few minutes to make sure that I got your invitations, because when you send me the invitation, I have to accept it. Let me see. Okay. So if we're going to do that right now, everybody else should not waste the time. So make sure you have the actual article by Wools and colleagues and the article. So let me stop sharing this and share with you the article, but you should be able to have it. Okay, it's available both on, it's a little small, so I'll make it larger. Okay, go back. Okay, so that's the article. It's both posted on the Blackboard and it's posted in the chat. So you've got to have that. And the second file is the exercise. which is in Word. Not this one, not this one. Okay, so let me open it. Good. All right, and let's have a look at the exercise. Okay, it's a little small, but let's make it. Actually, should be 3. Not. Okay, so your job is to, I actually asked you to look at the article, which is the research article. There is also a 2-page media piece. I don't want to call it article because then you'll get confused. So what I needed to do, it's now 5 o'clock. Spend half an hour in your Google Docs once you have them ready. And you could start by, so there are, how many questions are there? There's 8 questions and there is 3 of you. So decide among yourselves who's going to answer which question based on the article. Even if you haven't read it, the article is only 6 pages long, so you can start doing it right now. If you have read it, the article, beautiful, then maybe you can do all 8 questions as an exercise that you will do all by yourself. But I need to see your attempts of doing this exercise in your joint Google Doc, which I will be visiting between now and 5:30. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Sorry, so we're gonna make a little group Google Docs, as you said. Find the article. Where would we find the article?
It's both of them are posted in the chat. If you scroll all the way to the beginning of the chat, Jasmine.
Okay.
You see the exercise, and you see the actual article. So download both and start working in your Google Doc. I can see who's typing, who's saying what. So you don't need to, put your name. But remember, in the Google Docs, you can work simultaneously. And that's the beauty of Google Docs.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so I am here, obviously, but I will be waiting to receive your invitations to join your group. The button is called share. It's at the top on the right. And I can then see what you're doing. If you have questions, raise a hand or type in the chat something that you, okay, I see invitation from Norma. Okay, good. So, okay, go ahead. So start working. Okay, so it may be helpful for you to start by saying, well, question number 1 is the one that will give everybody and you the name of the article. So start with somebody, the leader of the group, for example, should start with question 1. Then I can see whether you're doing the right thing. All right, this is now, okay, Callista, I asked you to start the name of the document with your group number. In fact, you are the group that I used as an example. So 8, Didi, Victoria, Callista. Okay? So rename your document. So I have group 12, group 8, group 1 is coming my way. Okay, fantastic. All right. Next one is group 6. Good job, guys. Okay, group 6. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing because I need to see what is going on. 12. Good. Thank you, Callista. Thank you for renaming it. So 12816. 6. Okay, so I'm waiting for the remaining 7 groups to create Google Docs and share and start answering these questions. Try not to waste too much time. We have a lot of things to do.
Professor, it's Jeremiah. Did you receive the link that I shared with you?
Checking. All right, now, Jeremiah, you are group number 3. Let me see. Okay, I see not yet, Jeremiah. I see group number 11. That's Irina and Skylar. So try it again, Jeremiah.
Okay, I'll resend it.
Not yet, because I received, like I said, 12, 8, 1, 6, and 11. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Thomas, I need it not in chat. I need it in my email. Thomas, try.
Professor. Yeah, where's that? I didn't get the article at all.
It's in the chat. Go all the way up to the beginning of the chat at 434.
Oh no, my chat is only going up to like 452. That's the highest it could go.
Okay, all right. Then go to Blackboard.
All right. I'm on Blackboard right now.
All right, go to weekly schedule.
Yeah.
Go to week 3, and to the blue link that's called the in-class activities. There you can download the exercise, and the article is found in assignment 1. So you have to do another step. You have to go to assignment 1.
Okay.
And assignment 1 for in-class discussion. Also the blue link at the bottom. And there you will get the article. Can you see that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good, perfect. Anybody else who needs help with locating the materials? All right. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Jeremiah, I got it. All right, perfect. Group 3. Yep. Good. Next is, okay, try to answer the first question in the APA style. You cannot just type anything. Okay, group 8. Okay, good, but I already have you. You just renamed. Oh, you, okay. Let's do it again. Okay.
Miss Karina, we're only reading the 6-page one, right? Not the 2-page one?
Professor?
Not the 2-page yet. Yes.
Okay.
Just the actual article. The research article. Sorry, let me switch back to Zoom so I see who I'm talking with. Who has a question?
Professor. I just want to make sure we have the right article. Do you know the title of the article?
Yes, I do. Cholani, if I share the screen with you, will you see it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so let me share it again. Okay, that's the article, Cholani.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, anybody else? Okay, let me see whose invitation is still waiting for me.
Professor, is there a way to unshare a link? Because somehow there's someone named Anonymous Llama in our shared link, and I don't know who that is.
Anonymous llama. Okay, let me see if I see an anonymous llama in my list. Somebody from the Google Docs, right, Jeremiah?
Yes, I'm so confused.
What about your other two people? Sadira and
They're here.
Stephanie, are you guys in the same file?
Yeah, they're here.
And
But
you
there's
see,
just a llama there.
okay, let me check.
Yeah, like it's weird because it's showing all of us,
And the
and then
llama.
it just shows like it. We see your icon too, and then it
Uh-huh.
just shows like a different thing. It's weird. We low key have hacker in our thing.
Professor, can you post the article in the chat again? Because we're having trouble finding it.
Okay, let's do it again. The article is already posted in Blackboard, so.
Yeah, the one that's showing up is the article about the pens, but not the other one.
Okay, all right, so let me post it again. Sorry guys, Jeremiah and the group, I'll come back to you in a second. Let me just to make sure that, oh, that technology is wonderful. I love it. Okay, so file. Oh, Jenny just posted it. People who are having problems. If our work is gone, I'm blaming the llama. Okay, has everybody downloaded the article now? Or does anybody still need help with that? Okay, so nobody's screaming, so I assume you all got it either through the chat or through the Blackboard. No, I'm having trouble, Norma. Okay, I'm just gonna email it to you, Norma, because I do have your email address handy.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else, just tell me that you need the article and I will email it to you. Okay.
Professor, are we answering the questions that says in-class exercise 2.1?
Yes, yes, you are.
So what is the Google Doc for?
To answer these questions in the Google Doc.
Oh, so we're gonna take the questions from the Word document
Yes,
and put them on the... Okay,
that's right. Yes, that's the only way I can see it, because if you do it in your individual files, then there is no way for me to see it.
Can you
thank you.
email me the link for it?
Okay, the link for the article, it's posted on the Blackboard again.
Oh, it's under week 3?
Yes, under week 3 in class activities.
Okay.
All right, so Norma, I just sent it to you, so please check your email. Okay, who else is now? Tyrell, okay, group number 10. Okay, good. Open that. Tyrell, that's not the exercise that I want you to do. This is an additional activity which we may not or may get to. It's the exercise 3.1. It's also posted in the chat. Okay, Eileen, number 5. Where can we find questions? Okay, let's post that file again to everybody. This is difficult. Never mind, I found it. Okay, good. Okay, I'm checking. Eileen, just a second. Let's see if I have an invitation from you. So Tyrell, scrap all of this that you have. It's gone now, and do exercise 3.1. Okay, Jenny, group number 7. I have you now. Okay. Oh, I see, Jeremiah. Indeed, there is a llama. No, let's see. This is you. S is Sadiru, and S is Stephanie. I don't see any anonymous llamas.
They just left.
I see you typing now, Jeremiah. So type in the reference for the article. If the llama shows up again, we'll do something about it.
Are we citing the whole article as one reference in APA format?
The parts of the article, not the whole article. You just have to give me what it will look like if you were to use it in your reference page. Okay, so the way to do that would be to open up, let me see, open up the, cancel, not this, the sample APA article that's posted for you on Blackboard. Okay, I'm gonna open it too. And use it as an example of how it should look like.
So, like, there will be a APA format for introduction, for
No,
recent.
no. That's not it yet. The APA format is for citation of this particular article.
As a whole.
Right. So it is your source, and it has to be cited in the references. And the references page has a specific format that is required. So I'm going to open that in a second.
Would we use computers and human behavior as the title, or the 5 days outdoor education camp?
Well, these are two different titles. One of them is the title of the article. The other one is the title of the journal, and there is an order. Okay, now I can show you what it looks like. So you have to cite the article in the correct order. We talked about it last time. So you start with the author's names, the way they are presented in the article. You cannot change that. So let me go to the beginning. Okay, here we go. So now I'll share it with you, and you can see. All right, okay, there it is. All right, so I'm sharing the screen. It's a little small. Yeah, I can make it bigger. Okay, Jeremiah, are you looking?
I am.
Okay, let's look at the third. Let me get the highlight. Okay, so this is the first component. These are the names. So Jeremiah, what are the names of the authors on the article that you are reading now?
It's Yala D. Hughes, Minas Manikin, Jordan Morris, Deborah Garcia, Gary W. Small, Eleni, I can't pronounce that last name, and Patricia M. Greenfields.
Okay, how many authors are there, Jeremiah?
7.
7. All right, if it is 7, you still have to cite all of them in the references and the way they are ordered in the article. So your Ull's person is going to be the first author, and Greenfield is going to be the last one. but we are not using their first names. We start with the last name followed by the initials. So Uls is going to be Uls, comma, Y, period, T, period, comma again. So how would you type in the second author, Jeremiah?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said before.
You start with the last name, followed by comma, and then followed by the two initials. So my question to you, how will you cite the second author?
So it'll be Minnick and M.
Mm-hmm. That's right, with a comma in between. Good. So that's the first component. The second component is the year. It's not just a question to Jeremiah. Anybody else who is still working on question 1? What's the second component of the reference? Let's see who is available to us. Jenny, what's the second component? Year. Very good, Jenny. Thank you. Norma, what's the third component after the year? So I'm showing you an example from the, from the sample article. So what is it?
The title.
The title of the article. Very good, Norma. Perfect. Lisbeth, what's the next one? This one. Okay. Jasmine, what's the next one after the title of the article?
What to write down after the title?
Yes, after the title of the article. What's this fourth component? This one.
I guess the name of the journal, like where
Yes.
you get it out of.
Perfect. The name of the journal. The next component. Irving, are you with us? What's the next component?
Wait, hold on.
This next component, 16. What's that?
Oh, wait, I'm trying to find it.
Oh, she's just going.
Okay, anybody else? It doesn't have to be Irving, who may be having issues with his mic. What's the next component? It's the volume number. Okay, guys.
I don't understand that. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I don't understand what you mean by the volume of it. Like, where do you see that?
Okay, let's go to the article. Do you have it open, Jasmine?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at this information. This information comes from the article. Okay, where is it? Let's have a look. Do we have the volume? Look at the top. Jasmine, do you see the blue letters, computers and human behavior, and you see the number next to it?
Yes.
That's the volume number, 39, which means that this particular journal has been publishing for 39 years because volume represents a year. So if you have volume 39, they have been publishing for 39 years.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
So wait, I'm sorry. When you write it down, you'd be, the volume is 39 years or the volume is just 39?
Just 39, just a number. That's why I'm showing you the actual APA. I know the font is not great.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yes, Victoria.
Professor, can you bring back the article?
I'm sorry, say it again because you're breaking up.
I'm asking, you said we have to write the title and then...
So the title, can you see, Victoria, am I talking to you?
No, you're talking to Monica.
Oh, sorry, Monica. For whatever reason, it shows me that, okay, Monica, do you see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yeah.
So you see the components are in, the one that we're discussing as a sample is in yellow. Can you see that, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
So the first component are the author's names. The second component is the year the article was published. The third component is the article's title. The fifth one is the journal's title. The sixth one is the volume. You see all of that?
I see, but can you show me in the article we have to do it?
The article is the one that I sent you.
Yeah. So computers and human behavior, is this the
Mhm.
title we have to write?
It's the title of the journal. What is the title of the article?
I don't know.
Monica, look at the article. What's the, ignore the multicolored stuff above the thick black line. Look underneath. What do you see?
This
Read
one?
out.
Journal homepage?
No, go down, go under the black line.
"5 Days at Outdoor Education."
Yes, yes, that's the name, the title of the article. And this article was published in the journal called Computers and Human Behavior. That's at the top, right?
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
And number 39 is the volume. All right, we're almost there. I know it's a little painful, but that's okay. Okay, who can tell, oops, where are we? Who can tell me what these numbers are after the volume? 342, 347. What's that?
Might be pages.
Yes, perfect. These are pages. And note that pages or PP is not used, just the actual numbers, followed by a period. And finally, and this is the very last thing, is something that's called Digital Object Identifier, DOI. That DOI is a required component as of APA 6. So we've had it for 12 years. So let's go back to our article. Who can tell me where this DOI is found on the first page?
Professor, can I talk?
Yes, please, Rita, go ahead.
So, where the abstract paragraph is at the end, maybe that one, or at the end of the introduction?
No. See what it says at the bottom of the abstract? It says Creative Commons org.
Yeah,
which
that
means, yeah, that's not the DOI because it doesn't have DOI in it, right?
one. Okay.
So look at the bottom of the first page. Do you see anything that has DOI in it?
Yes, the end of introduction.
Well, it's not the end of introduction because introduction goes to the next page.
No,
It's
I
like
mean
the
first
third
page
line up.
That's
from
what I
the
meant.
bottom.
Oh, good. You meant under the left column. So this HTTP dx.doi.org 10 period 1016, that's the DOI. So you have to copy it and paste it. Yes, thank you, Victoria. Perfect. You have to post it. So what will happen if you click on that link is that you will open the article. If, of course, it's not behind the paywall. At least you will get the information about the article. Yay! Which means we got through the first question in half an hour. Okay, can somebody quickly, let's skip number 2. Can somebody tell us if, what are the independent and dependent variables? Let's start with the independent, the one that affects the behavior. It's question number 3. Can somebody answer that question? So I'm gonna stop sharing this and go back to the article. No, it continues to show me this. Let's close. Do you want to save changes? No. All right, I'm gonna go back to the stop and now share. Keep thinking. I'm gonna just ask somebody because otherwise it's gonna take us a very long time to get through. Okay, now I'm showing you the article. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So where will we look for an answer for question 3? The variables. Where are they described in the article? So Stephanie says dependent variable is the variable being tested, or Stephanie, better saying measured. Okay, where would be the series number be again? Do you mean the volume, Jeremiah? The volume is at the top, and the pages are also at the top, 387 to 392. OMG, that English. It's okay. I understand what you're trying to say. But I'm coming back to my question. If we want to identify the variables, which we need to, because we have to compare what the journalist wrote with what was written in the article, where do we get the variables? Okay, you guys use the search button in your PDF and type in dependent variable. So Stephanie says again, independent is what's being changed or controlled. That's a strange way of formulating your question, Stephanie. Independent variable is the one that affects the dependent variable, or we can use other terms. We can have predictor variable that affects the response variable. There are many different synonyms. Okay. So no answers? Okay. This information is information that is about the design of the experiment. And the design of the experiment is in the method. Okay, I have highlighted a few things for you. So here's the first sentence. It says the study design involved a pre and post test and the no intervention matched control group. So our predictor or independent variable, technically we should not use both. Predictive variables are used in association claims, and independent variables are used in causal claims, and we'll talk about them next week. So here, what was manipulated? You can answer this question, guys. Okay, we're not gonna make it into half hour, so it doesn't matter. We'll just continue. How many groups were in the study? Okay, I'm just gonna call. Didi, how many groups were there in the study? Okay. Terrence, how many groups were there in the study? Alma, how many groups were there in the study? 6. 2 groups. Jenny, thank you. Yes. Experimental and control. Okay, so what was the manipulation now? What was the difference between the 2 groups? What was the control group? What was the experimental group?
I guess the control group was were the kids who did not go to the camp, and the experimental group were the 51 students that went to the getaway camp without the screens.
Thank you, Seaver. That's exactly what it is. So we can say that our predictor variable is whether the children, 6th graders, stayed in school and use the devices normally the way they do, versus the experimental group that went to the camp where no devices were allowed. Okay? Can everybody see that? Where is this information? Okay, so they say right there, second sentence of the method, both the experimental and control group, no intervention, right? And if we go to the next page, they'll tell us that the experimental group participated in the Poly Institute, an outdoor education overnight camp facility, okay? And the control group was at the bottom here. Participants in the control group attended school with a typical week of instruction. Okay, so now we established that some children, actually half of them, 51, went to a camp, no devices. 54 went to school and lived their normal life. Okay, so what was measured both in pre-test and post-test? Obviously, they wanted to see if this intervention going to a camp did something to their screen devices. What did they measure? What was the dependent or response variable? Now here, the answer could be sort of two versions. One is the conceptual answer, the big question. The other one is more technical, what we call operational definition. So let's start with the conceptual answer. What did these people, the researchers, measure? What were they interested in? Go ahead, Siver, yes.
I think one thing that was measured was the kids being able to pick up on social cues, and this was measured by, I believe it was looking at pictures of human emotions and maybe some video aspects to it as well, but or some videos that were like scenes played by actors, I believe. But I think it was both groups, I believe, were tested like before. Group A, who went to the camp and had their screens removed, they were tested one time before they left for the camp, and then they were tested after the 5 days. And I believe the kids, the group B, who did not go away to the camp, were also tested before the other group, I believe, went to the camp, and then they went about their daily lives, you know, with the screens, the normal screen time, and then they were tested again after.
Good.
For these.
So this is what's known as pre-test, post-test design. So they measured, so Siver hasn't given us this big question, the conceptual line hypothesis behind the story. But Siver was very right about other things. So who can tell us what was the main question behind the study? Actually, it would be better if you just talk instead of typing, because that might be a little bit faster. Alma, can you do it?
What was the question?
The question is, what was the big question? What was the hypothesis? What were the authors after?
So they were trying to figure out if hold on. They were basically trying to figure out if you put the kids in front of screens, if they would be less likely to see emotion and from like physical characteristics, as opposed to kids that would be like face to face instead of on the screen for 5 days. Good. So the big question is whether emotional development from the nonverbal cues, right? Whether it will be affected by the use of a device or no use of device. Now, if this is the question, you have to measure somehow the emotional response of the children. And that's what Siver was talking about. How do we measure whether somebody can read the emotions? Well, we could have a test. In one of the tests, there were two in this article. One of the tests was reading the emotions of the people's faces. There were 24 pictures, 12 children's, 12 adults, that represented different emotions. In fact, 6 emotions that are universal across all the cultures. Fear, surprise,
a bunch of others, and the kids would see a face and they would have to write down sad, happy, fearful, surprised, disgusted, whatever. Okay? And then they measured out of 24, right, of these faces. How many of these faces did each child comprehend correctly? So what was the maximum? Well, 24. That's 100% correct. What's the minimum? None. 0. A participant did not get any of the faces correctly. There was a second one, which was little video clips that people were talking to each other. And again, the way the children were supposed to respond is to write which emotion was involved in the scene. So the difference between the two tests is one is just, photos, and the other one is videos. Okay, it's 5:40 now, so let's take a 7-minute break until 5:47. If you are not particularly dying to get out, or why don't you continue working on those questions and ask me, because that's how you will have to analyze your research article.
I have a question for the activities for week 3. For the people that attended the lesson on Tuesday, we could use that as an example, right? Like a brief summary of what we went over.
You could, but it's just a little boring, Jasmine. So I would like you to try to come up with something of your own based on the lecture or based on your reading of chapter 3.
Okay.
So a summary is something that is okay.
All right. Anything that has to do with like the lesson, like as you said, like any questions on chapter 3 or
Right.
what came to mind over the discussion we went over.
Right, or something that is, no, with this particular chapter is a little abstract, but as we start getting more into, let's say, observation, which is our chapter 6, if you saw something about an observation somewhere, you read about it, now would be the good time for you to post about it. I see you, Gigi. Okay, that's okay.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Professor.
Jeremiah, is it you again? Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. Sorry, I don't have my camera on because there's a lot of activity behind me. Is it okay if you can look at the Google Doc that we shared you? I just had some questions about 2 questions that I answered.
Okay, let me see. I have to stop sharing and go back to, all right, you are group 3, right?
3.
Okay.
So would this be appropriate for the APA format?
Okay, I'm looking. Let's see. Okay, there are a couple of things that are wrong. So first of all, the word abstract in square brackets, that shouldn't be there. And the whole thing has to be formatted, what is known as hanging indent. Can you do that, Jeremiah?
What do you mean hanging indent?
It's
like
when
each line has to, sorry.
The first line is flushed all the way to the left, but the other 3 are, no, keep the first one all the way to the left.
It moves everything.
Well, because you're doing it in Google Docs.
Like that?
No, first line flushed left. The other 3 go 1 tab to the right. Yes, here.
It changes the top one.
Well, because you're in Google Docs, that's the problem. Their formatting is not as great as you. So one possibility, I don't know if it will work, is to use the stuff and then just select the first line. It's very easy in the Word. I'm not sure it's that easy in. Okay, I've just done that. See, Jeremiah?
Okay.
So the left line flushed left, and why do you have the year in parentheses here? The year should be right there. You already have it.
Okay.
So now it looks APA style. So Jeremiah, these 3 lines that are tapped to the right are called hanging indent. The first one is sort of hanging over the remaining 3 lines.
Okay, and then my other question was question number 3. I didn't edit this yet. This is straight from the textbook. Since the textbook is the source, should we just leave it like that and quote where we got it from, or paraphrase?
No, you never ever lift anything verbatim that is word for word from the article. You have to describe it in your own words.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Because otherwise it is plagiarism.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Devon Joy, you will need to change the name. Should be 4 Irving, Devon Joy, Joanna. Your name is not correct. That doesn't allow me to find
The
you.
name of the Google Doc?
Yes, please change it to your group number, which is 4.
Okay.
Followed by your 3 first names, Irving, Devon Joy, and Joanna.
Okay, got it.
All right. Let's see. Okay, Chidima, I'm gonna type in something for you in the chat.
Yes, Professor.
1 second. Okay. You need to do it now. So I don't need the certificate page. I need the page with the score. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I was doing it last week and then I just fell asleep. It was like a lot of
Okay, now is not the time to fall asleep. So please send it to me right now as we speak.
Okay. Wait, how do I send it?
Send it to my email address, irina.sekerina@csi.cuny.edu. Just attach it. Or if you don't know how to attach, take a picture. Send me a picture. I just need the score.
Okay.
Okay, who else is? So, Skylet, are you there?
Yes, Professor.
So, when are you going to do the training?
Right after this class.
Okay, so you will be doing it today, right? Okay, fantastic, good. Now, Skylet, if I don't get it by tonight, I may be very angry, right?
For the link to the training, access that. You said it wasn't available on Blackboard anymore, correct?
You don't need to. Just type in. You're at the computer right now, right?
I'm gonna type them.
Okay. Well, when you are at the computer, go to Google and type city training, city all 4 caps, and then the word city program. Sorry, city program. Okay, and then log in, create an account, and choose City University of New York and do it.
Thank you.
You don't need to go to Blackboard.
Got it.
Let's see. Oh, we have to go back. All right. At this point, let me ask you guys, because I need to decide what is going to be useful for you. Should we continue? And then let's do a little poll here. So my question to all of you, and you're going to use the buttons yes, green, or no, red, underneath the participants. So the option is we will continue analyzing the ULS article and then perhaps look at the 2-page timepiece. That's going to be the media piece. Or we can switch to something else, which would be working on the APA style for your assignment number 1. So let's start with the first question. Would you want to continue analyzing the ULS article? Click yes or no. Okay, there's 33 people. Maybe not everybody will participate, but let's get some numbers. For now, it's 5 and 5. Now it's 6 to 4. Okay, 7 to 4. 8 to 5. 8 to 6. 9 to 6. Okay, good. 9 to 7. 9 to 8. Okay, we are divided. Okay, I need a couple of more people to chime in. So the question is, shall we continue with analyzing the article, or should we switch to the APA style for now? Which means you'll have to continue working with the article, with your group at your own pace and time, because we only have 2 more weeks left. I'm waiting for Alma, Callista, Cholani, Chidima, Edgar, Irina.
So, sorry. So we're finishing this as homework?
Yes, if we don't have time to finish it, if we switch to APA style, I suggest you do it at home, that you understand how to work with the research article. All right, 10 to 8. Jasmine, Lisbeth, and these are the people who haven't voted yet. Quickly, Monica, Romaine, Sadiru, Terrence. Okay, it's 20 out of 33. That's good enough. All right, I can see that we are sort of in between, so perhaps you don't see the poll. If you go, Irina, if you go to the participants, click on that panel. Underneath, you will see the buttons. Okay, but it gives me enough understanding that, okay, I see, that perhaps we want to look at APA style as well. Okay, good. So we will stop doing this exercise. You should do it. In fact, I will post it. Well, it's posted, but I'll post it for your discussion board. Let's have it. So everybody should do it. Everybody should do this exercise by the end of, so Monday, by the end of week 3. All right. So now let's look at 2 things that you will need. You will need to write the actual report, and then this report will be graded using a rubric. Does everybody know what a rubric is? Okay, good. Stephanie says yes. Didi says yes. Norma says yes. Okay, good. So a bunch of people know what a rubric is. Okay, good. So I'm going to show you. No. One of the reports from the previous year. It doesn't matter which one. And we can look at the APA issues if there are such things. Okay, so give me a second. Cancel. I'm gonna close this. Yes, sure. Okay, 1 second. You can continue thinking of the answers to exercise while I'm opening up the assignment. Okay, good. So now I'm going to share it with you. Okay, any day now, open up. So remember that this assignment is only 5 to 6 pages long, so it's not particularly long. Okay, so this is our title page. Can everybody see it? I'm going to make it a little smaller so you can see the whole page. All right. This is how your title page should look like. As you can see here at the top, we have page number, starting with the title page, right? There's nothing else. In APA 6, the previous version, for those of you who took 201 before, we would have a running head here, but it's not required for student papers anymore. Okay, what do you think, guys, is this? The relationship of swinging and happiness. It's the title of the paper. Very good, Cholani. It is what the students called their paper. And you can see there is author 1, author 2, and author 3. That's just like you. Note the commas and the word and the order should be alphabetical. So let me ask somebody. I don't know. Let's use group number 7, Kim, Jenny, and Monica. Who's going to be the first author among the 3 of you guys?
It would be Jenny.
Because why?
Oh wait, it's going off of last name, right?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. So then it would be, I believe it'd be Monica first. Yeah, it would be Monica, then me, and then Jenny.
Very good, because Jenny's last name is Zhang. So I'm sorry, Jenny, you are condemned to be the last author. Okay, next thing is the name of our university. You could say the College of Staten Island if you want, or you can say College of Staten Island of the City University of New York. That's the official name of our institution. That's what your diploma will say when you graduate, followed by the course number, the course title, my name as your instructor, and the date. So as you can see, this paper was submitted on October 1st, 2018. In your case, it's going to be October 1st, 2020. Okay. Let's move on to the next page. Close this. And let's get rid of this because it will interfere. I have to figure out how to remove all of that without multiple clicks. Close. All right. This is page 2. So let's look at page 2 again. We have the page number, right? Continues from page 1. And this is an important requirement of APA style, that the title of the paper is repeated before the text starts. So before we look at the actual page, let's look at the rest of the paper just to get an idea. So do we have any headings? That is the paper separated into components? Here's page 1. Here is page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. Here is the last page, which is the references. Note that you have to have 2 references here, right? You have to have one that is the media piece. I assume this is this. And then you have to have the research article. Okay. Now, as you can see, I hope already from this exercise that this is not APA formatted. So there are plenty of mistakes here. So as an exercise, this is posted for you on the Blackboard. As an exercise, I would suggest that you go through this paper and correct the mistakes. Now, here's another mistake here, another error. I'm not telling you what it is, but you can think about it. And the fact that it's not separated into sections is actually a bad thing because it's kind of difficult to read. You're not getting through, you're not getting the logical structure of the paper. So so I can tell you without going into any details that this particular paper received a C. That's 70 out of 100. It's a weak paper. And that's why it is called, I believe, grade C paper. All right, let's look at the grade A paper. All right, so let me close this and open the A paper. Share. Let's make it bigger. Okay, the same title page. Look at the title of this paper, The Effect of Graphic Warning Labels on the Purchasing of Sugary Drinks. Before I show you anything else, what do you think is the hypothesis for this paper? Okay, to answer this question, you would have to say, well, what are the variables here? Are the variables in the title? Do you see any variables in this title, guys? Vanessa, do you see any variables in the title? Okay, Rita says sugary drinks. Almost, Rita, but be a little bit more precise. What do we do with drinks? Louis says graphic warnings, purchase. Right, okay. So the behavior that we are interested in is whether people or a person, somebody who is a part of the study, maybe just by observation, whether this person is purchasing a sugary drink. Well, what do we mean by sugary drinks? You know, Coke, maybe sweetened iced tea, maybe juice. These are all sugary drinks, right? Now we need to, so that's our dependent variable, or the variable that we are measuring. And there's only 2 values here, right? Somebody purchase a drink, yes, and somebody doesn't. No, there's nothing else. Okay, good. So the effect of the drinks, Jasmine, can you push yourself into, because this is another variable, right? That's the variable that affects the behavior. If it's a variable, it has to change. What are the values or the levels or the conditions for the labels? negative or positive effect? Didi, think about it a little bit. What would be the simplest manipulation of a label? Just like with purchasing, right? You can either purchase or you don't. So what about labels? Taking it on and off, almost, Louis, but imagine, read it, okay. Okay, read it. Think about a Coke in your fridge. It's a very simple question, right? Does it have a label at all? I mean, no, yes. So, no, Rita, excellent. So what could be a manipulation? Forget about positive, negative. What could be the manipulation in terms of labels? Go ahead, Siver.
The almost like lack of information, because I know cigarette cartons now are kind of forced to be very graphic and show you, you know, hey, this is a warning sign. And Coca-Cola, for example, even though it's delicious, I mean, the sugar or the, it's pretty bad for you, I guess, if you can't control,
Okay,
your
you're almost there, Siver.
Okay.
The manipulation is whether the bottle has a label or whether it doesn't, right? So imagine no bottle, our 2x2 contingency table, right? No label, the person is not buying. No label, the person is buying. Label is on, the person is not buying. Label is on, the person is buying, right? So the idea behind this study would be, if you put a graphic, now like you said, Siva, if you put a graphic label on that bottle that shows what sugar does to you, like, diabetes, I don't know how one would, maybe just being fat, whether this will affect people's purchasing of the bottle. You can imagine how Coca-Cola and Pepsi and producers of juices and everything else are fighting this, because it will cost them lots and lots of money if labels like this, just like they are on cigarettes, if they are labeling sugar as a deadly component. So this title is presumably telling us that purchasing behavior of sugary drinks will be affected if the label is present. Okay? And because this is a good one, let's look at, does it have a structure? All right. Here is the first component. Annotate. Right? It has a subsection called introduction. That's very helpful. We know that they're going to tell us something about the study. Here is the next one, discussion of the methodology. So now they say the methodology of the first study. Well, that is not very clear. What do they mean by the first study? Is it the research article or is it the media piece? But, it's okay. Continue, the methodology of the second study. Right? Then they have a discussion of the claims. We'll get to the claims next week. So I urge you to read chapter 3 of the textbook very, very carefully, because that's what assignment 1 is all about. Discussion of validity of the claims. So if you look at our chapter 3, let me get that. Let's see. Okay, if you look at chapter 3, you can see that it's called 3 claims and 4 validities. That's the essence of this assignment. You have to find the claim of the research article, and you have to find the claim of the media article. Compare the two, and you have to do the same with validities. Okay? So here they go, and there is a conclusion. It's okay. Conclusion can be here because it's not an experimental report. It's a review report. And here comes the reference page, and you can see that very clearly that this is a research article, psychological science, and this is a media piece. It has the date, and it has the link, Psychology Today. We know Psychology Today is not a research journal. It's a glossy magazine. All right. So now we'll do the most interesting part. That is, we'll look at the rubric. That's how your assignment will be graded. Okay. Let's get it open. Oops. And have a look at the details. Let's make it bigger. As you can see, you're going to get 1 point for every correct answer, half a point if it's partially correct, and no points if you don't have it or it's wrong. So the first one is your title is informative, like the one that we just looked at. Does putting a label on the bottle affect people's purchasing behavior? Articulation of the claim, that we will talk about next time. Are you telling us why this is interesting or important? Well, obviously it is important, having the problem with obesity in this country mostly linked to sugar consumption. Okay. The next one is the square paragraph rule. We haven't talked about it yet, but think about a square paragraph is something that whose width is the same as length. When it's double spaced, it's about half a page. So if your paragraphs are one sentence or a whole page, you are violating the square paragraph rule. Each will have 3 components. Again, we will continue talking about it. We should have started talking about it today, but it takes time. Then comes the media. I call it article, it should be media piece. Is it psychology or is it something else? Consumer behavior is psychology. And your media article cannot be 3 lines. It has to be at least a page long. Probably the longer the better. 2 pages would be really nice. And then comes the whole section on the media. Did you find the claim that the journalist is making? Okay, what kind of claim is that? Is it frequency? Is it association? Is it causal? Did you provide a summary? Assuming that I haven't read, and I probably won't unless I have to, I won't read your sources. You have to tell me what they are. Did the journalist or journalists provide variables for us? Okay, what was the methodology? We looked at the UL's article that they used the pre-test, post-test, control group, no intervention. So these are all important components. Are you giving us information that's not important for the task at hand? That's bad, because we don't want to read stuff that we don't need to read. And here come the 4 validities. Again, we'll talk about them next week. But when you read, see if you understand what's meant by these 4 validities. Validity means whether the claim is valid in one way or another. So in fact, there's 4 ways. You get exactly the same questions for the research article, because your job is to compare the 2. So what is the claim in the research article? So for ULS, it is, the claim is that spending 5 days without screens helps children develop emotional and social nonverbal communication skills. Now, there are many problems with this claim, unfortunately. That's why it's too bad we didn't get to the media article. But so you'll do it on your own. And it's the same questions as for the media. So if all these answers are the same, then the journalist has done a great job. Congratulations. he or she represented the article correctly. But if it's not the same, and the most interesting case is when the research article makes an association claim, this one, but the journal article, journal piece, makes it into a causal claim. And these are very different things. So in this case, the media article, media piece, misrepresented the research findings. Okay, now comes the comparison. Okay, then comes the formatting. That's why I suggest that you closely read both. This, the one that we looked at the end was paper A. The first one was paper C. Take this is your rubric. It's posted on the blackboard. Print it out, read through, excuse me, read through both of them and grade them by saying 1, half a point, 0. Of course, you don't have access to the actual sources, but do your best. Then, of course, if your writing style is run-off sentences and lots of errors, a few is not a problem, but when it becomes your consistent style, and that's especially important because there will be 3 of you writing or 2 of you writing. So the person who's in charge of the group, the leader for now, is the one who will be to blame if your piece reads like 3 different people wrote it. The idea is to blend it together as if one person wrote it. That's how we write these days, not only in psychology, but in any other places. And here is the main conclusion was the research article represented correctly by the media piece. So that's 27 points right here. And this is 23 points. This is about formatting. Double spaced, Times Roman, no extra spaces between paragraphs. I suggest you go through the rubric. You can ask me questions either on Tuesday or on Thursday, and I will answer them. You have the indent for paragraphs, you have page numbers, and so on. I suggest that you have appropriate sections because it makes reading easier. Here's your title page, all the required information. Now, there is no excuse for you not to get all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points because we've been through this, and I'll post more in the APA component of the Blackboard. Here is your references. Remember, there's only 2 of them. One is the media article, the other one is research article. And you have to include your materials, your research article and your media piece, because if I don't have them, I have to look for them if I need to check something. And that's not very nice, so you should include them. The final point is that the article has to come, the research article has to come from a psychology journal. So if it comes from psychiatry or from, I don't know, substance abuse, or some medical journal, that's not really psychology. So you have to be careful. So that will give you your up to 50 points, and the grade will be, so basically on that scale. So 92% to 100, so 50 to whatever will be an A and so on. But you will get a grade, numeric grade on a scale of 0 to 50. The only way of getting a 0 is not to submit it. Okay, so at this point, if there are any burning questions, stay after the class is over and ask me. Otherwise, I urge you to do as much work as you can, especially together in preparation for assignment 1, which means you have to have a media piece and you have to have a research article. We were supposed to look at them today. Do it on a discussion board, and that will allow other people to see what you have chosen so they can post their comments. Okay, thank you guys. The class is over. I'll see some of you on Tuesday, and I'll see everybody next Thursday, a week from today.
Professor, I'm sorry, I have a question. Did each of us in the group need to answer a question in the discussion board, or some just leader or anybody?
Yeah, you can just take the answers and make them into a post on the discussion board.
Okay.
That'll be
Thanks.
fine. Hmm.
Thank you, Professor.
Take care. See you guys next week.
Hey, Professor, I have another
Yes.
question.
Go ahead, Jeremiah. Hmm.
So for the class work we were doing today, do we write another essay on that and our
Sorry, Jeremiah. I missed the end of your question. So do
for
it
the
again.
class we're doing today, we have to finish that and we have to write a paper on that?